Calgary-West.
Speaker, this government's decision to place a priority on taking a stab at fulfilling a campaign promise to reduce school fees is putting a financial stress on individual school budgets. Some administrators are considering drastic measures to absorb a budget shortfall for the coming school year, and at least one school board has increased some parents' busing fees to cover a shortfall that you created. I do not understand how this makes sense, but Minister of Education, will you commit today that no teachers will lose their jobs and class sizes will not increase?
Minister of Advanced Education.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'm pleased to answer this question on behalf of the Minister of Education. And of course, we're proud of the work that we're doing to make life better for Albertans, including investing in schools. We're making sure we're funding for enrollment growth. And of course, if the opposition is so concerned about the welfare of students, they would have voted for our budget, Mr. Speaker. Instead of advocating for $4 billion in cuts to government spending, which would mean firing teachers and larger classrooms.
First supplemental.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Given that schools are already struggling under the weight of the carbon tax, and given that this fee reduction hands school administrators another unexpected cost that they have to absorb, and given that you have claimed no teachers will be laid off because of this rush campaign promise, but schools have to find the money somewhere, and they are worried that they will have to lay off teachers, which means that class sizes will increase. Minister, is this not another unintended consequence of this rush election promise?
Honourable Minister.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. And again, I'm happy to remind the members of the House about how our budget makes life better for Albertans by investing in schools, investing in more teachers to make sure that our students have the best access to education of any students in the country, Mr. Speaker. You know, the members opposite want to cut $4 billion from government spending, which will necessarily fire teachers, which will necessarily increase students, and for some reason they seem to think that that's okay when they propose it, but want to criticize us for doing exactly the opposite, Mr. Speaker.
Second supplemental.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. Given that the Minister has admitted that he is fast-tracking the NDP's campaign promise by 1 year, and given that schools are telling me that they cannot absorb the funding shortfall by September because their budgets are already set, and given that they are asking for more time just to prepare for the cut in funding, Minister, will you give schools a desperately needed reprieve and delay this purely political policy change to at least the fall of 2018 so that teachers aren't laid off and that class sizes are not increased? Thank you.
The Honourable Minister.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Not only will we continue to invest in classrooms this year and in budgets going forward, Mr. Speaker, we'll also fight to make sure that those members opposite never have the chance to make the harmful cuts to schools, throwing teachers out of work and making sure that our students have the largest class sizes in the country. Mr. Speaker, we will continue to work for the betterment of the people of Alberta over the next 2 years and make sure that every student knows what's at stake if those guys have a chance to make a budget again.